morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, wherever you are in the world. My name is Sandy Srinivasan, and as president of the Pan IIT USA, we're going to kick off the IIT 2020 virtual summit, the curtain raiser in the India segment. We're going to start off by having some fun to relive our good times. We're extremely privileged to have with us today Vikram Podar, India's first corporate humorist. He's going to explain a bit of that here in a little while. He's in fact the only stand-up comedian in the country with actually a premier B-school degree from FMS Delhi University, in fact. And in addition, he's got comprehensive corporate experience of 8 years across investment banking, consulting, and media sales. Working for 8 years in a corporate environment is probably going to be resulting in a lot of funny situations, which I'm sure he'll go into. He was part of the 3-member team executing the 176 million buyout of Thomas Cook India, the top 5 PE deals of the year. He's featured on NDTV's Rising Stars of Comedy and covered in Bombay Times, the Deccan Chronicle, and the Dainik Bhaskar, and too numerous to name. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up with a huge virtual round of applause for Vikram Podar.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's so great to have you guys here. Before we start, in case you guys can hear me, please give a huge round of applause to the whole organizing committee that's put this incredible event together. I think we can agree that this year, anything that we put together has a special significance for it. So if you guys can hear me, please go ahead and give a virtual round of applause to everyone who's organized this. I just want to start by saying it's interesting that this year we are starting with a comedy act. You'd think that's strange, but let's be honest, guys. In some ways, the whole of the year 2020 has started in a similar fashion. In some ways, there's a joke that was played on this entire globe. So I think it kind of makes sense that a comedian is starting this event as well. I should point out to you guys that I don't have any audio feedback at this point of time, so I will have to rely on you guys. I'll presume that you guys are laughing. You can give me, feedback in the chat window. I think that would be really great. As they mentioned in the introduction, I've done my MBA. I'm expecting an applause for that, to be very honest. I just wish I had done engineering as well, because then my comedy career would have started much earlier. Because after all, as they say, tragedy plus time is equal to comedy. As they mentioned in the introduction, I was in a lot of jobs. I've done sales, then I've done consulting, then I've done investment banking. Now I'm doing corporate comedy. So yeah, it's been a very logical career progression. But it's great to be here. It's really great to be performing here. Before I move on, I was told that there's a slight lag, because of the way the system is structured, that I will speak and the jokes will be delivered 20 seconds later. Okay, so I'm going to presume that the laughter will also come with lag. I presume that at no point you guys are not laughing. That is just the laughter that is lagging, right? It's not the jokes. I hope you guys are very clear about that. In fact, I'm going to promise you something, okay, that with just one line, my valuation in this audience will increase, okay, just one line. I'm a startup entrepreneur. Yeah, that was the line, guys. The thing is, honestly, in IITs, we learn so much, we've learned so much, but in this new change startup world, there's new exciting startup. In this new online learning world, I think we need to add 2 additional education sessions as well, okay? We need 2 additional education sessions at IIT. I think one should be how to pronounce entrepreneur. And the other should be how to spell Sequoia. In fact, the best part is when I was writing down this joke, even I spelled Sequoia wrong. So now you know why I didn't go to IIT and also why I never got any funding from Sequoia. But in fact, there are a few stand-up comedians from IIT. There are a few stand-up comedians from the IIT as well, because they were frustrated by the process of relative grading. They said, we are leaving this corporate rat race. We don't want to be compared. We don't want any sort of comparison, any comparative ranking. So now they are stand-up comedians. And now they compare how many hits their comedy videos have on YouTube. It's like if you can only manage 500,000 hits, you are called 5-point someone in the comedy circuit. Of course, the IITian who wrote the book 5-point someone is also a stand-up comedian. Some of you may have heard of them, Chetan Bhagat. Only sometimes his comedy is unintentional. I understand that all the IITs have something called a GPA or a grade point average. So to all the toppers, in the batches, on behalf of the backbenchers, I just wanted to add something. Like see, GPA can help you in placements, okay? But COVID does not look at your GPA. So please put on a mask. In fact, there's something I want to share with you guys. Guys, I had COVID in September. So I actually had COVID in September. So I felt that, okay, I believe comedy is about always taking something, negative and turning it into a positive, although those terms have taken a very different meaning in 2020. So I used to do something, I used to still do online comedy shows. I used to tell my audience that I have this oximeter, is there on my hand. And I used to put this oximeter and I used to tell them, look, if this falls below 90, I will stop breathing. And I also used to tell them that if you guys stop laughing, it will fall below 90. So I hope you guys will make sure that you're COVID positive and you support somebody who's had COVID. So make sure that you guys keep laughing. Okay, please keep leaving your comments in the chat window if you guys are enjoying the show. Remember, guys, because right now I'm not getting any feedback. In fact, I had a lingering side effect from COVID. One of the lingering side effects was I had a loss of hearing in the left ear. So that's still there. I presume, so I know that you guys are laughing very loudly right now. The applause is deafening. It's not like you guys are not laughing. It's just that I can't hear properly, right? I'm sure you guys understand that. It's a hearing problem. It's not a problem with the jokes. I'm sure you guys are laughing brilliantly and you're losing your minds at this point in time. I also used to have breathlessness in the morning. So in some ways, my morning alarm clock was the singer Shankar Mahadevan. Like just imagine waking up to the song Breathless every morning. It's been quite crazy. And as he mentioned in the introduction, we've got people from around the world in this show, right? The organizers are going mad. Okay, there's GMT, there's Eastern Standard Time, there's Indian Standard Time. But guys, don't worry, because Indian Standard Time will ensure that everyone else manages to join on time. In fact, they told me the show was at 5 o'clock, so that I will be ready by 6:05 in India. And if you're wondering why 6:05 and not 6, well, because engineers, they want precision in everything. In fact, they told me this event starts at 6 p.m. IST and it gets over at 5 p.m. EST. So I think IIT engineers have shown even time travel is not impossible for them, right? It's amazing, man. They can pull anything off. Now, you guys know, right? There's a stereotype that IITians, they're very intelligent, but they're bad at communication skills. And I say it's not true, man. It's not true. But yeah, I did notice one thing. I think IITians don't understand how tenses work, because they said in this conference, future is now. I'm like, how? That is not the kind of thing you expect from an IIT. You expect it from someone from IIM, because then it sounds nice. Sorry, MBA has said it. Future is now. Kya baat hai, amazing. Because guys, let's be honest. We all know that the answer is that future is Reliance. And so is the future group as well. Now, guys, I'm a lot like a typical IITian. Okay, I'm very much like a typical IITian, because just like a lot of IITians, I'm hoping if I score well in this show, I will get an on-site posting to do comedy in America. Or I will get to do a comedy show at an IIM. You guys know that famous philosophical expression, right? I think, therefore I am. I think it here out like something like IIT, therefore IIM. I don't know if it's the IITians or the IIM guys who will laugh at this one. Of course, there are a lot of jokes on engineers from IIT as well. There's a lot of jokes on the engineers, and they are intelligent, but they don't have social skills. Like, for example, they say that many of them don't even know how to talk to women. They get confused, they get anxious. It's like if they want to say hi to a girl, they say, "I love you." Now, guys, we know all IITians are proud of their rank, in the IITG. They are very proud. It's called AIR, All India Rank, because just like All India Radio, they broadcast it everywhere. You will see their rank on their LinkedIn profile. You will see it on their Facebook. But a girl told me, I met this IITian on Tinder. And I asked what are his interests and hobbies. He sent me his score in G. But see, I told that girl, look, he may not know how to communicate, but there's a good chance that the Tinder app was designed by somebody from IIT. The guy who got Tinder funding was an investment banker from IIT IIM, right? And if his all India rank is under 50, he will probably qualify for Forbes 50 under 50 as well. Like, I think Forbes should create a separate category of 50 under 50 for IITians who have rank of top 50. Because even Forbes will be thinking, yaar, ye saal award de dete hain. If his rank is in top 50 today, tomorrow his startup will be in the top 50 unicorns. That time we can get event sponsorship as well. In fact, guys, now that I've changed my career, I must share an experience. Okay. So I actually appeared for the IITG entrance and I tried copying in it as well. Okay. I actually tried copying in an IIT, not in the main examination. Okay. It was in the screening exam, right? And so I was sitting in the examination hall and, there was a woman next to me and I copied from her paper. And at the end of the examination, we were chatting. She asked me, how was your exam? And I said with full swag and confidence, that depends on how was your exam, because I copied everything from you, right? Full confidence. And then she told me, you are aware that the paper sequence is different, right? Because guys, see, that was the first year they had introduced the screening exam. I think you can understand why, because of people like me, they introduced a screening exam. That some people are too stupid to even qualify to appear for IITG. So I think it saved me a lot of headache and hassle. I'm really glad they had that screening, right? See guys, at this point, I am not getting audience feedback. So I'm hoping you guys are not hoping there was a screening test for hiring the comedian as well. All right? I'm hoping you guys are having a good time. People who are in this chat with me, if you guys are liking this, please drop me a lol or a haha, going well, whatever works for you, right? Okay. Or you're a unicorn, Vikram, your jokes are like $1 billion. If you can do that, I think that will resonate well with everyone here. In fact, I understand that after me, there's a fireside chat, with about unicorns. So I think the background music for that event will be Bulla Ki Jana Unicorn. Because I'll be honest, my parents have lost hope I will ever create a unicorn. But I told them there is hope, there is hope. I will create a unicorn. All you have to do is change my last name to Bansal. Yeah, I was wondering why I didn't get shows from Flipkart, to be very honest. But I think I understand now. But see, they told me, Vikram, it's a very global audience, all right? It's a very sophisticated audience. It's a very, very senior, sophisticated audience. Don't use words like MCPC. I said, okay, but can I use the term VC? Because I think the term VC, venture capital, it's like we will venture with capital. It sounds like wanderlust with other people's money. Now you understand why Boardroom Comedy, my company, never got VC funding either. Of course, IIT has a lot of big startups. In an event for IIT Delhi, I was in a fireside chat with Mayank Kumar, the co-founder of Upgrad. And I told him, Mayank, you guys are pioneers in the e-learning space, but tell me, how can I trust you with my child's education when you can't even spell upgrade correctly? But E kahan gaya? Where is the E? I think it went into all the E cells. Because every IIT now has an entrepreneurship cell. They have a startup incubator. And I think nowadays with all that's happening, people are, getting people to join IIT at the age of 4. That's why you have a startup incubator, because ideas will now be funded from the womb itself. Before the child is born, he'll be put in the startup incubator and his idea will get funding. You guys have been a good audience so far. Just taking a look, Somebody said I was looking to do that myself. Okay, guys, good comments. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So you guys have been pretty nice to me so far. So I want to tell you something a little bit more personal. I'm a middle class guy from South Bombay. Now, I know it sounds like an anomaly, but guys, in India, everybody wants to be middle class, which means it's in India, because I'm from South Bombay, I will know very little beyond South Bombay. But just like every IITian, I will know everything about the Bay Area. Honestly, I think based on the current experience and demographics, the next IIT should honestly be called IIT California. And it can have a compulsory startup incubation program, which will be called Hotel California. And the tagline will be, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave without a check. The only way you can leave is with the check for startup funding. And you hope it doesn't bounce like the year 2020 has bounced on all of us, man. Because guys, I think we can acknowledge, and if you guys are listening in, the fact that I'm able to perform online, the fact that we're having this show, we do all these jokes on engineers, on IITians, but you guys created the technology that is making this world and, this show possible. You've allowed me to still have my career. So guys, if you're listening in, please give yourselves a round of applause, okay, for making this thing happen. Okay, it's been an amazing thing. Because guys, let's be honest, it's like 2020 has been a difficult year for everyone. I'm sure we'll agree it's a difficult year. Drop me in the comments, just drop me a boom if you agree it's been a difficult year. You can put boom in the comments. Because guys, honestly, if you're a startup entrepreneur from IIT, your life is a little easy because at least you can get VFH, which is valuation from home. But I'll admit, life is challenging as a middle class guy, from South Bombay. Because I'll tell you why I said that. Because in India, everybody wants to be middle class. Nobody says they're poor. We're not poor, okay? We are lower middle class. No, we're not very rich. We are upper middle class. Like, I'm sure we have like a side upper and a side lower as well. For the people who read Chetan Bhagat novels. And that's why Chetan Bhagat stopped following me on LinkedIn. I sometimes wonder if I'm doing everything wrong in my career. And Mr. Mahindra Kumar, Ayush, everyone said, boom, thank you very much. But guys, I'll admit, things from South Bombay are a little challenging. Like sometimes you don't know the realities of life. Like I didn't even know how banking works, Like the first time somebody gave me a check, उसपे लिखा था HDFC Bank. So I deposited in HDFC Bank. I don't even have an account in that bank. And this happened because my dad had peons for everything. I used to tell my dad, net banking kare. Beta, net banking kya zarurat hai? Apna Vijay hai na, the peon, he will do it. Or like that phone banking. Ha, Vijay, he will make the phone call. Like OTP, Vijay will go to the bank and get it. That is the kind of environment that I grew up in. But today we have so many IITs, they're now working at Facebook, which is great. The only problem is now, even now, a lot of girls will not accept their friend requests, even though they work at Facebook. And as for the female IITians, their friend request, is not a problem. Only it always gets accepted. Yes. Only problem is sometimes the request to be just friends gets rejected. Because we have a lot of IITians working at Google as well, which is so great. It's so great when you think about search engine optimization and SEO. I'll admit sometimes an audience member has told me I was doing an SEO on your jokes as well because I could not find them in the show. And things have changed this year. Things are very different because everything is online. Guys, I used to perform at a lot of these corporate shows, conferences and offsites. If you have any conference, guys, wow, I'm seeing a lot of people sending me 0. I'm guessing that is binary for you're doing awesome. Okay, I'm presuming the 0 in the comments, like you guys also speak in binary. I presume 0 means it's great. So yeah, I used to perform at a lot of these company conferences and offsites, and we used to have one rule during comedy shows is that the bar will be shut. Okay, that the bar will always be shut. And guys, I've realized something, because people go crazy with the free alcohol. They used to lose their goddamn minds. And then I realized something. They're not drinking like that because the alcohol is free. No. They are drinking like that because they think the alcohol is compensation. It's like this feeling of this company has taken so much from me. This is how I'm going to recover it. Like liver failure chalega, lekin insaf hona chahiye. I think there was this feeling of, this, there should be, like alcohol is like part of the CTC. Yes, there should be a cost to the company. And I still love how these companies mess with you, right? Guys, remember in those conferences and offsite, how they love to mess with you. They'll make you drink all night, party till midnight. Okay, the party's on. And the next morning, 9:30 in the morning, there will be a presentation where they'll give you sales targets that make you an alcoholic. But see, being an alcoholic is still okay. It means, you are sophisticated. You are sophisticated problems. You are like Devdas. Boss ne kaha, naukri chhod. Finance ne kaha, reimbursement chhod. HR ne kaha, we'll get back to you. I see one of the gentlemen laughing because of the HR reference. Like, one of the most challenging things for me in this profession is I think you guys think you have difficult customers, difficult people to deal with, but I deal with human resources. There's a reason I call myself human resource manager. I deal with human resources because these guys are amazing, man. It's like how they're like magicians who hypnotize you with the joining salary figures, right? Or people are joining from India. You guys know there's a concept of CTC, right? Cost to company. I think they hypnotize you like, this is your CTC, this is your CTC. Then 1 month later, you get your payslip, like, that's my take-home salary. I think they're like those guys on Fashion Street in Bombay, who sell you fake stuff but insist that it's real. Like this guy was telling my sister, "Dekho, madam, genuine male, dekho, branded male, dekho, label bhi like a Reebok." I'm like, dude, it's a salwar kameez. And this whole concept of CTC, I think CTC is like a packet of potato chips. It's only when you buy the pack and open it, you realize how much is just air. And such complex calculations, deduct PF, add back allowances, deduct cost of senior management offsite in Thailand. In fact, somebody once asked me, what is the difference between CTC and take home? I told them it's like the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. And if you're a startup, sometimes the difference between GMV and revenue. Now, guys, I want to tell you something. There are some people in the audience who've been instructed to laugh and cheer no matter what I say, all right? So it's a lot like hostile politics in IIT during elections. But one thing I really miss is I performed for IIT Delhi a couple of times this year. I did a poetry and comedy, quarantine night. I did something for the Alumni Association. But one thing I missed was it was all online. Everything was online this year because, as you guys know, right, we've not been able to take any flights this year. We've not been able to travel, and things have been challenging in that regard. So, because I really miss a lot of things about flights. We get to see such crazy experiences. Like if you've ever flown by SpiceJet in India, the in-flight announcement was really weird. You hear things like, we're flying at 50,000 feet. The temperature outside is minus 50 degrees Celsius. We're now flying over Bombay. Jai Hind. I'm telling you that Jai Hind used to scare the hell out of me. I also flew by Air India and they'd improved. My 2-hour flight was only delayed by 4.5 hours. And after this gigantic delay, we finally get to the aircraft and there was this ancient gentleman who was giving the safety instructions. Like this poor guy was struggling so much. By the time we came to the oxygen mask demonstration, I'm like, sir, aap khud laga lo. Aapko zyada zarurat hai. I think you need that oxygen mask more, sir. And then you have all those safety restrictions on what you can take into the cabin. So you guys don't get me wrong. Today, safety is important. Okay? Today, we already have so many more challenges with the mask and whatnot. But some of these rules are ridiculous. Like, who are you going to assault with a nail cutter? When has a flight ever been hijacked with a flight? Afghanistan mein land kar do, nahi to tumhare nakhun kaat do. If he stays in a hostel in IIT, he'll be happy 6 mahine tak usne khud nahi kaate hoenge. I also had this strange social experience in a flight once. It was a very strange social experience. Guys, I'm also having a strange social experience right now. Okay, I'm trying to perform without getting any audience feedback. So if you guys are liking what's happening right now, okay, give me a boom, give me a hell yeah, give me a unicorn. Vikram, you're a unicorn. Your laughter is worth $1 billion. Whatever works for you. So yeah, as I was telling you guys, okay, I had this weird social experience in a flight. I was in a flight in economy class, and I saw my friend sitting a few rows ahead in business class. So there was a very awkward moment between us. This awkward moment. I had this feeling of, should I go up to him? Should I talk to him? Will he accept me? Like it felt a bit like Sudama going up to Krishna. I went up to him and we started talking. He's like, what are you doing? Like, are you on the same flight? I said, yeah, man. They're like, oh, then what are you doing back there? I was like, hunting for Pokemon. Like, what are you supposed to say to that? Because have you noticed in a flight, whenever you get into a flight, you would always cross the business class people first. And these people would not even look at you. They always had this feeling of, inki garibi mujhe nahi lag jaye. That's the great thing about COVID this year, right? It's a great equalizer. Okay, nowadays, economy class people are thinking, yaar, inki bimari mujhe nahi lag jaye. In some ways, COVID has really jumped across classes, right? But it felt, the snobbery of business class, it felt a bit like, the people of business class are like the South Bombay people of the aircraft world. Because, in recent times, they started depriving you in so much of an economy class, you start getting annoyed, man. Like, matlab kya yaar, economy class wale insan nahi hote kya? When did insan class become lower than business class? What kind of capitalism is this? But guys, trust me, I know there's a lot of criticism against capitalism, but it's still better than communism. Because communism is like, soon, sabko plane chalane ka equal mauka milega. Everyone gets an equal chance to fly this plane. And then you had that damn emergency exit. Now like the air hostess would come up to you and it was almost as if an AI chatbot is speaking to you. Sorry, you're sitting on the emergency exit. Please don't keep your feet there. Please don't keep your legs here. Please keep your feet on your legs. Please keep your feet on your legs. Mutual fund has served to the market risk. Please read the offer document carefully before investing. Like it was just completely automated. I was chatting with an Air India air hostess, and later on I saw her LinkedIn profile. It said, "Hi, I'm an air hostage." Guys, it's Air India. It may not be an error. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you that. Because you see the craziest things on a flight once. Man, I actually saw this on an Air India flight once. Two passengers sitting next to each other. This person asked the guy next to him, "Sun, pani chahiye to kya karna?" He said, "Kuch nahi, wala button daba dena." I swear, this guy pressed the button and went like this, "Ki upar se pani girega." Ganga, I don't know what he was expecting. But yeah, this year things are a little different. In a lot of ways, a lot of us finding things very challenging. Whether it's recruitment, whether it's looking for jobs. So one interesting anecdote is, I got laid off from a consulting firm in 2009, and 6 years later, I performed for the same audience, and I put that on my LinkedIn profile because, guys, today recruiters, you guys design the software, for AI to search using keywords and terms, but yeah, keep some human intervention at least. Like just because, on my profile it said the words Thomas Cook, I started getting job offers to be a cook in Dubai. It just made no sense at all, man. The way this whole keyword thing works, like, and I love how people work on LinkedIn, right? People put up such amazing bios, anyone's on LinkedIn out here, give me a boom. Okay, yes, I'm on LinkedIn, give me a boom. Because guys, I just love the LinkedIn profiles. People put the craziest things, like somebody put strategic interface between the firm and the external environment. You're a receptionist. That's one other thing I miss about this year. When I used to go to those conferences, guys, you remember we used to, exchange visiting cards, guys. Remember we used to exchange visiting cards? It was such an amazing feeling. Remember we used to, how we used to hand them over with 2 hands. With such deference, like it is prasad. Like I was not expecting spiritual music to start playing in the background. Like I just wish my HR would hand me my paycheck with the same deference. It's like, if I can't have the money, at least I can have the respect. Like, ye lijiye sir, aapki auqat. Guys, I'm kind of running short of time, so I'm just going to wind down very quickly here. Just something I want to share very quickly out here. Guys are following cricket, I'm sure. So guys, one of the earliest memories I have of cricket is the 1996 Sahara Cup, between India and Pakistan. And I'll tell you why that match is really special for me, because I was watching it with my father, and I was pressing his feet at the same time. So it's an emotional moment, I'm watching it with my father, I'm pressing his feet. And suddenly in the middle of all this, an Indian wicket falls. So I was emotionally traumatized, I was upset, and I was hurt. And my father consoled me the way a typical Indian father would. He said, "Vicky, मैं तेको बोला था ना, तूने पैर दबाना बंद कर दिया, इसलिए इंडिया का विकेट गिर गया." Gentleman is also laughing. Drop me a boom if you think you had a father like that, because with dad things were crazy, Things were pretty challenging from him. He came from a very small village in Chunjunu in Rajasthan, but he managed to achieve a lot. He did his engineering from BITS Pilani, then he did his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. So I guess today his natural career progression would be a judge on Jhalak Dikhla Ja, following in Chetan Bhagat's footsteps. I'm sure as IITians you might find this difficult to believe, but guys, I used to struggle in mathematics, and my dad did not let me take maths tuitions because he was a genius in maths. So he used to say, "मैं घर पे expert बैठा हूँ तो बाहर के expert की क्या जरूरत है?" But guys, this stuff doesn't work, right? आप खुद की औलाद को नहीं सिखाते. Like, see, my mom is a therapist, but she can't give me therapy because it won't work. Because if I go up to my mom and I tell her, "Mom, break up," break up तो छोड़, तूने लड़की से बात कैसे की? मेरी औलाद नहीं है, तू घर से बाहर निकल जा. You deal with such judgmental this thing. In fact, one of the biggest challenges was that my dad and mom had a 10-year age difference between them. So they used to have the weirdest kind of fights. Like my dad used to say things like, "पता है लोग तो बोलते लड़का तो IIM Ahmedabad से बिट्स पिलाने से, पता है मेरे लिए लड़कियों की लाइन लगी हुई थी." And my mom used to counter that, "ये तो छोड़ो, लोग तो बोलते शक्ति तो चांद का टुकड़ा है, पता है मेरे 3 क्लासमेट मेरे फिदा थे, मैं आज बोलती तो अब शादी कर लेती." As an 8-year-old kid, I'm looking at them thinking, "Oh no, that means I am only here because they settled for each other, which means I am their lowest common denominator. It means I am their Rahul Gandhi, guys." So guys, I'm going to wrap up by just telling you, something about my father. So he passed away in 2015. But I'll tell you something. People in India, they say the craziest things. Everyone kept telling me, "It's okay, Vikram. He's in a better place. He's in a better place." So I told them, "Listen, please stop saying that. We are from South Bombay. There is no better place." Now, guys, all of you guys are into startups. You're into valuations. You work with investment banks, right? So the one thing that everybody focuses on is on exit, right? An exit valuation. So I'm going to make an exit here using, an exit term sheet. I hope you guys had a good show. If you guys had a good show, can you please drop me in the comments? Did you guys enjoy the show? Yes, guys. Can I hear something from you? All right. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with an exit, and this exit is typically how an employee exits. You guys remember that, when you are leaving a company, you send that email to all your colleagues. Dear all, today is my last day. Or kitna jhoot hota hai isme. So guys, I'm going to read out to you something that I have. It's called the honest exit email. All right. It's called the honest exit email. So it goes something like, dear all, today is my last day with you guys. Thank God. The last 4 years that I have been here because of recession have been the most amazing moments of my career. The most amazing was when nobody told the CEO he was presenting the sales graph upside down for 1 hour. I am now bidding adieu to this company to pursue another opportunity. Her name is Shruti. It's been great interacting and knowing each one of you, except HR, finance, admin, IT, the receptionist, and Dinku, the CEO's pet lizard. This is not a goodbye. Only a hasta luego or see you later. क्योंकि वापस आना पड़ सकता है. क्योंकि recession and Shruti दोनों का भरोसा नहीं है, guys. Good luck and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Especially the guy who inherits my company laptop. Please delete the folder C drive / technical files / employee engagement / learning and development / personal. All the IIT engineers know exactly which folder I'm referring to. दुआओं में याद ना रखो, LinkedIn testimonial में जरूर याद रखना. And of course, who can forget that last and final line? Guys, to stay in touch, please note my personal email ID, sexyboy365@hotmail.com. So guys, that's it from me. I hope you guys had a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right. You guys can follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter. You can see my LinkedIn profile. I will also be sharing my, all my social media handles on this thing, on the chat. You guys can access, you guys can visit. Once again, let's hear it for everyone who's put this great event together, who's allowing this to happen in a very incredible and difficult year. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm sure IITians will fix all the problems of the world, and we look forward to you guys doing that. Take care and have a great event ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vikram. Guys, I know we can't give him the round of applause, which is acoustic in nature, but let's give him a virtual round of applause. It's actually extremely difficult to do stand-up comedy, and even more so when you don't get to feed off the audience. So good job, Vikram, and thank you for kicking us off on a lighter note. Okay, really appreciate what you've done. Okay, so with that, ladies, gentlemen, once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever you may be in the world. My name is Sandy Srinivasan, and as president of the Pan IIT USA, but much more importantly, on behalf of the many over 150 volunteers who have worked tirelessly to bring this summit to you, it is absolutely my great honor to welcome you to this curtain raiser global segment of the Pan IIT Mega Virtual Summit 2020. As all of you are probably aware, in a very short while, we also have the great, incredible honor of the 2020 summit being formally opened by Honorable Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India himself. We have a terrific lineup planned for you over today and tomorrow. We as IITians like numbers, so here are some numbers for you. Over 275 speakers, over 400 startup companies that we've given the ability for them to showcase themselves at no charge. around 50 plus booths for you to visit. We are going to cover topics around health, technology, education, food, government, public relations, space, philanthropy, and many, many, many more topics. For those of you who think that, this should have really been a brick and mortar conference, really there's the element of networking in a brick and mortar conference that's not there in a virtual conference. Think again. Explore our platform. You can not only connect with old friends, you can make new ones. You can set up meetings one-on-one. You can set up conference-style meetings. The possibilities are unlimited and only limited by the amount you explore our platform. Quite honestly, this event is a showcase of what IITians, but I like to club this more importantly as what Indians bring to the mainstream societies of wherever they live and work. I will be very remiss if I didn't recognize that the only reason we're able to bring this mega summit to all of you effectively free of charge, there was nothing charged for attendance. This is only thanks to our phenomenal list of sponsors that you've seen on the website, as well as a lot of alumni who've been very generous and made individual contributions to us to make this conference happen. I would like to specifically thank our large sponsors and take two sponsors by name who are our strategic partners for the summit, which is NTT and Zoom. And I also want to very sincerely thank the over 35 other great sponsors of this event. So what can I say? Use an airline analogy as Vikram used. I can say, sit back, fasten your seatbelts and get ready for takeoff. It gives me now incredible pleasure, and it's my real privilege to welcome one of the men behind all of this, our Mega Summit 2020 co-chair, the one and only Viti Bindra. Viti, my good friend, take it away.
Thank you, Sandy. So technology will impact most every field, and the demand of continuous upskilling and a lifelong continuing education will rise to meet the demands of a well-prepared and well-educated workforce. Over the coming years, we can expect a greater debate in civic, academic, and critical spaces about how digital life is changing our world. Hello, everyone. I'm Viti Bindra, conference co-chair, IIT 2020 Global Virtual Summit. As an IIT alumnus, we are always challenging ourselves, especially in the new norm. We need to redefine the future. That's the reason our summit is all about the future. We IITians always think like the great Albert Einstein. As his famous quote says, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I did spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and the 5 minutes thinking about solutions. So hence, we are always thinking about the future. So let's join hands and redefine the future. The better future only through innovation, startups, and entrepreneurships, we can build a better world. Let's co-invent, co-define the paradigm for the new world. We need to collaborate and create a better future for all of us. Together, let's make a difference. So technology can evolve quickly, and we need to be faster in how we adapt. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Sanjeev Goyal, our conference chair, IIT 2020 Global Virtual Summit, to share his viewpoints with the audience. Please join me in welcoming Sanjeev. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Sanjeev Goyal. Only through fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, we can build a better world, a better future for all. Let's join hands and redefine the future, our future. It requires collaboration at all levels. IIT 2020 Global segment has panel on unicorns to the next big idea. Companies like NTT, Global Gene Corporation, Cohesity, Foundation Capital, and even Bombay Stock Exchange are creating new paradigms. We want to tackle some significant challenges of today and tomorrow. We want to tackle some significant challenges of today and tomorrow. We are fast reaching 10 billion plus global citizens. How will we scale to provide food, health, and education to future generations? What will be the new global paradigms for living in this new normal? Our alumni has successfully started and ran thousands of multi-billion dollar organizations. They have contributed, collaborated, and changed the paradigms. But today's question caught us off guard. How can we steer in this new world? How can we create enterprise and businesses and organization to impact billion life? I'm Sanjeev Goyal, conference chair of IIT2020.org, Pan IIT USA's mega virtual event. And I personally invite on the behalf of 500,000 IITians from 100 plus countries to this unique opportunity, an opportunity to join us and co-invent and co-define the paradigms of this new world. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Kalpen Shukla. Kalpen is our global segment chair and my dearest friend. Kalpen is an IIT Delhi alum. He's a community leader and a philosopher. We will hear from him shortly. He's a phenomenal guy. I'm so glad, Kalpen, you are here with us. I had some very interesting and deep conversation with him about the future for all of us. I must thank him for his amazing work he has done for IIT and our community. Let me invite Kalpen to share his vision of future and open IIT 2020 global segment. Kalpen, floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjeev. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, as per your geographies and locations. A very warm welcome to everyone who is participating in this event through different channels. I am Kalpen Shukla, and I am the chair for Global Track. Along with my colleagues Sundi, Sanjeev, and Vitti, and volunteers across the globe, it's my pleasure to welcome you all for this unique today event. It's more than a few decades since IITs and IITians have been providing leadership inputs to the world across the industries, work environments in diverse geographies, and providing inputs to even governments. IITians have made immense contributions to the local economies wherever they have settled. We have now reached a stage where very few would not acknowledge this holy grail of unparalleled soft power from India. Currently, the world is at a very interesting point of inflection where the future may appear bright to some, but bleak to many. With rapidly changing geopolitical equations, the responsibility shifts to those who are in advantageous positions, can foresee and analyze, apply their intelligence and expertise, and find their way through the cobwebs of numerous constraints. There is no denial that technology will drive the future and future course of life. It's a matter of time before technology and sophisticated technical implements start playing very critical role in every sphere of work and life. Harnessing the power of technology would also require application of understanding from myriad different fields. It is akin to designing a smart city that requires expertise from range of uncorrelated activities. And therefore, design of optimum solutions would necessarily need interdisciplinary approach and ability to integrate knowledge from diverse fields. Future is always uncertain, but then we are all trained to respond rather than react. We believe IITians and IITians are well positioned to take up this challenge and respond with well thought out, calibrated action points, be it healthcare or education, entrepreneurship or social impact. Undoubtedly, this group has abundant talent and wisdom to offer meaningful practical solutions to rest of the world. IIT 2020 is aimed at creating a platform that will bring these minds together and keep challenging them to provide leadership inputs as we go forward. It aspires to build a sustainable interaction point that may continue the momentum that we generate during these 2 days. At the same time, we also wish to aspire to provide inclusion and wider participation, which will foster cross-pollination of ideas to find optimum solutions. And that is one of the reasons why this event is made open to non-IITians also. We wish to ensure that we don't remain oases of excellence, but pan-IIT, IITs, and IITians, they work together with common man on the street and try to find meaningful solutions that we have, fortunately, the ability to conjure up. With this, I and all my colleagues who have been working assiduously to present this wonderfully curated event, we once again welcome you and assure you of a very rewarding experience attending IIT 2020. Thank you very much.